Hey guys, Hector Castillo, Poppy from girlschase.com. Today we're going to be talking about how to set up expectations in a relationship because this is fucking huge. Almost everyone gets this wrong. A lot of people, the biggest problem I think most guys get is they just pick the wrong girl. The second biggest problem is they don't set expectations in a relationship, right? And then I'd say the third biggest is guys just slowly become pussies. So when you're setting up expectations in a relationship, first thing you need to do is make sure that the girl chases for the relationship. Now, I know we call this girls chase, you get the girls to chase, but unless you have a very interesting dynamic set up, you're very high status, famous, you're just amazing with girls, you're usually not gonna have the situation when the girls are like constantly like just running towards you, like very aggressively chasing you. That's actually quite rare. What we mean by girls chasing is that they just slowly give you the signs or quickly give you the signs to move forward in it. But for the most part, as a man, we're the pursuers, we're the aggressors. And that's fine, that's the natural sexual dynamic. But once you've been having sex, it should be the girl who's chasing for the relationship. And usually this comes in the form of the girl saying, hey, you know, what are we? Or, you know, do you see this going in anywhere? Or they'll start to give indirect signs where they say, you know, like, I'm not seeing anybody else, wink, wink. They express in some way that they want a relationship. When you have this, then you have some leverage in order to make your demands in the contract of the relationship. And I know that sounds somewhat unromantic. When it comes to picking a partner, yeah, that's fully emotional. But when it comes to setting up a relationship with that person and making sure they're the right person to not only feel strongly for, but to have in a relationship, because some people are definitely not built for a relationship because of their history or their habits and their lifestyle and their personality. But you'll have some leverage because now she's kind of really desiring this. So you're gonna say, okay, if you want this with me, you're gonna have to agree to some certain understandings. So to fully understand first how to get a girl here, I actually have a video on how to get a girlfriend. And the full premise of that video is that the girl chases for the relationship. If you wanna put it simply, you chase for sex, she chases for a relationship, for the most part. Now, once this is established, and this is important because you're gonna have to need some leverage. If you're the guy chasing for the relationship and you're like, I want you to be my girlfriend, I want you to be my girlfriend, and you're really pushing for it, she's gonna have the power because it's kind of like, I really want you to be my girlfriend. And they're like, yeah, okay, we can do this. Be like, okay, well, here are my demands. It's kind of like beggars can't be choosers. So once you're chasing, then I want you to very explicitly explain to a girl, or, now I remember talking with some guys that even in this community, when it comes to pickup, they got it all. When it comes to relationships, they kind of have some broken paradigms. A lot of guys mistakenly apply the pickup mentality of, you know, just be chill and don't really care that much to relationships. And this kind of leads to some bad situations where guys are too relaxed, too liberal with their allowances of what women will do. And the problem with this is if you don't set firm boundaries of what is and is not acceptable to you as her boyfriend and for her as your girlfriend and what you want out of the relationship. Now, I'm not saying you need to like sit down and say, okay, here's our timeline. We're gonna go from here to here, then we're gonna go on this trip, and then we're gonna do this, and then in 2.5 years, we're gonna have a child, and then we're gonna, that's not what I mean, okay? That's a bit much. What I mean is there any behaviors that you really, really don't want? And are there some behaviors that you really, really do want? Now, you can present these in a good way. I'm not saying you to be like, all right, listen here, bitch. If you don't do exactly like that, what you say is, you know, let's say she just says, hey, you know, well, I really like you, and you know, I like this casual thing we have going on. It's really fun. I enjoy having sex with you, but you know, I don't know, I'm kind of catching feelings for you. However she expresses it. And let's say that you do want a relationship with her. What you say is, look, I really care for you too. I like you a lot, and yeah, I would be down to have a relationship with you. You seem like a cool girl, and I'd love for you to be my girlfriend. But I have some expectations, and you should kind of make being your boyfriend difficult. A lot of guys make it too easy. Getting to sex should be easy. Getting to a relationship should be hard because it's so. I remember reading from Tucker Max way back in the day. If you haven't read him before, check him out. But he kind of made a good point. He's like, when it comes to like hooking up, I'll hook up with anything that gets my dick hard. But when it comes to a girlfriend, like I'm super strict. You should have that mentality. When it comes to you giving that position of a girlfriend to someone, it should be taken very, very seriously. And so you should kind of let her know that. And you should have it because it's held to a high expectation, you should have high expectations. So I'll go into what are some of my expectations and boundaries of a relationship and how I express them. So I would say, let's clean this up. So for me, loyalty is number one. Absolutely. Now there's some people out there, oh, you're kind of insecure. No, I just don't want my girlfriend sucking another guy's dick, dude. I'm gonna explain to her, be like, look, I would like to have a relationship with you, but I wanna explain to you something. Like, loyalty is super, super, super important. I'm really, really serious about this. Like, there's no like going on dates with guys. There's no, having a friendly coffee with a guy. And I'm saying explicitly tell her this. Now, if she has any problems with this, be like, look, that's just how I am. I can explain to you why that is, but it's not because I'm insecure. It's just because that's my demands and that's what I want, okay? And you can give a philosophical explanation, a romantic, a practical explanation, but like, look, I'm not gonna be checking your phone. I'm not gonna be fucking jealous. I'm not gonna be, asking you if you weren't here in 30 minutes, like were you off, sleeping with some other guy? No. But what I am saying to you is that if at any point I think you're cheating, or if you do, and that could be as simple as fucking dancing too sexy with a guy, you're gone. And you can be anyone watching this can be like, oh my God, that's so extreme. Okay, that's fine, but I'm allowed to ask for whatever the fuck it is I am, or I want to ask, and they can either consent to it. They're an adult. They can say yes or no. She can say no to any of these, and then you just don't be her girlfriend. But you shouldn't be so compelled by the fear of her judgment or society's judgment, or your loss of her because you were too demanding. You shouldn't let that fear keep you from getting what you want, because I guarantee if you play your game right and you find the right girl, there is a girl out there who will accept pretty much most of your demands. So loyalty, super important for me. Sex. This doesn't really need to be said too much, but I do like to explain to girls like, look, as long as we're happy and we have great sexual connection, I'll stay with you. And that's true, because I'm not saying we're gonna be together forever, because then I'm promising too much, and no one can ever promise that, right? So one of the premises of marriage to me is actually quite silly. I don't think you could predict that you would be with someone forever. But that's my opinion. Don't mean to shame anyone who has that opinion. But sex is super, super important. And you set this expectation. Now, let me explain this also. You set expectations through your words, as I'm doing right now, and action. And if you're properly setting up a relationship, you should be having sex, really hot sex, and a lot of it before you do get in a relationship. When I hooked up with my girlfriend, we hooked up the first time like a lot, because that's who I am. And so it sets the right precedent, right? So this is all about precedent. If you start with something, it will be expected. But as my director was telling me about a friend of his, is that he set bad expectations, because expectations is not only about what she's gonna do for you, but from you to her as well. If you set the expectations too high in the beginning, then what happens is there's nowhere left to grow. And so the story he was telling me is this friend kind of invested so much in this girl, a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of emotions. And what happened is over time, he couldn't keep that up because of financial reasons, time reasons, and emotional reasons. He couldn't keep it to the level that he started with. The issue with that is that once you're here, if at any point in the relationship, because of life, because life just happens, even if it's reasonable why, and even though you should expect another human being should reasonably understand that, things happen, that's not how people work, and that's not how women work. Women are gonna be like, something is wrong. He's not giving as much time as he used to. There's gonna be times where it's very reasonable. They're like, oh, I have to go on a business trip for a week. Okay, cool, that makes fucking sense. But if you just consistently start spending less time with her than you did in the beginning, or if you, were spending a lot of money on her and then you're not anymore, if you were having a lot of sex and you're not anymore, she's gonna feel like something changed. And she, being a human being who is insecure, like all of us, is gonna feel like it's her, or there's something wrong with you too. And so she's gonna feel like the relationship, I'm just not feeling the same anymore. And that's just a vague expression to mean whatever the expectations were, they're not being met anymore. I remember in college, I had this fraternity brother. He was really good with girls. He's also a massive piece of shit, and I'm happy this happened to him. But he had this girlfriend, and he was hanging out with her 24/7. And I told him that's a lot, man. He's like, no, man, I'm never gonna stop spending time with her. We're always gonna be having this amazing time. I'm never gonna leave her. And I was just like, wow, you're fucked. And she ended up going to study abroad in another state. And eventually he kind of got the feeling she was cheating. And he asked her, he's like, are you seeing someone else? She's like, yeah, I've been cheating on you. It's like, well, what did you expect? You had this huge level of investment, and then she left to go to another state. And even though logically I'm in another state, so of course we're not seeing each other, that's not how it works. And also she was not a good girlfriend candidate either, in so many different ways. But she felt like, okay, he's not constantly being around here fucking me, giving me the emotions that I used to have. I need to replace him with someone else. And then just started sucking some other dude's dick. So set expectations properly through your words and your actions. But back to what I asked for. Loyalty, sex, respect is a big one. You can kind of explain this like, also respect is something really big for me. You know, if we're ever, this is how I explain it. If we're ever in an argument or there's a problem, I really, really, really want you to just come to me and directly communicate with me. Now, girls are girls, and sometimes they're gonna be like, yeah, nothing's wrong. But if you properly set this expectation, usually girls are going to be more open to it because you set that kind of fear of God in them. Because what you're saying is, if any of these are broken, I'm gonna seriously consider leaving you or leave you straight up. If loyalty is broken, I'm gone. There's no conversation. You'll never hear from me again. But respect is a big one. Don't argue in public with me and yell at me. Don't insult me. If you have a problem, come to me directly and we can discuss it like adults. Lay that out. That 5 minutes of extra explanation can end up saving, because it's a clear expectation, so much time and so much fucking drama in the future. Now here's another one that most people don't do, but I do. I want to sleep with other women. That's incredibly unfair. Oh my God, you have no idea how many times I've heard that from other people. Yep, so we're not the same person. I want her to be loyal to me and I want to fuck other girls. That's who I am. That's so mean. How's it mean? She accepted it. If a girl accepts it, if a girl that you were gonna get in a relationship accepts that dynamic, then she's obviously saying, look, I'm happy enough with you that even though I'm not totally happy with this arrangement, I'm willing to accept this because I care about you and I love you. So these are one of my demands. Now the morality of it and the philosophy of it and how to actually pull it off, that's a whole nother video. But it's something that's very important to me. And it's something that I very clearly express because I'm just not gonna cheat on her. Because I've done that in the past and I'd just rather not do it. The fucking sneaking and it's a fucking hassle. I'd rather just tell her up front. The respect, sex, and the loyalty. That's what I'm going to show her my expectations, okay? I'm not gonna tell you gotta spend this much time with me, you know, you gotta text me all the time. That's not what I mean. Set general guidelines to what you expect her to do. Then, what's really important is you need to show through your actions that you're actually gonna uphold these expectations, because you can say any of these, but if they start to lack and then through your fear of losing her, you decide not to enforce your rules anymore, she's not gonna believe you and your contract is going to become null and void. And then also you can ask her, are there any expectations that you have in this relationship? And she's gonna say, well, I want you to care about me. I want you to spend time with me. I want you to, you know, keep in contact with me. I want you to, you know, allow her to express her expectations as well. And then you start the relationship with a very clear contract almost. And it's not a bad thing. It's not like, oh my God, it's a contract. It's so unromantic. No, it's quite romantic. It's like, look, I care enough about you to clearly express my expectations, and I care enough about you to hear what your expectations are. Like I said, they don't have to be like line A, line B, this is my expectations for Tuesday. What I'm saying is general boundaries of respect and of connection and of your sexual expectations, your relationship expectations. What are they? And to what extent is it important to you? And you can explain that as thoroughly as you would like. I'm a fan of over-explaining, especially in this stage, because like I said, if you just take that extra 10, 15, 20 minutes or an hour to sit down with her and explain to her your thinking behind, like this one's hard to explain, right? I'm gonna have to really explain it. But if you take that time to do it, then if you change your mind in the future, if you do end up thinking that you do want a one-sided monogamy relationship, if you had not set that expectation in the beginning, you're fucked. It's so hard to pull that off, because no matter how hard you explain it, she's gonna feel like he doesn't love me anymore. But if from the beginning you were to explain this, then she's gonna be like, this is just who he is. And she's not gonna feel like it's her, okay? So set expectations clearly in a relationship, whatever they are. Your desired relationship is your desired relationship. I'm not gonna tell you what it is that you want because it varies from person to person, and I'm not gonna tell you how to express that. unless you specifically want some help on that. And if you do, again, send me a DM on Instagram, Papi Castillo. It's in the description below. And you can maybe ask, how would I express my desire of this in a cool way that's not like needy, but is still firm? And then have a healthy relationship built on clarity and honesty and compassion and empathy. Okay, cool. Hector Castillo, Papi from girlschase.com. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. Remember to send me a DM on Instagram. Check out One Date in the description below if you want help actually getting a girlfriend. Gives you a process to get there with her. If you want to understand more of a social circle dynamic and how to meet a girl that you might turn into a girlfriend to have a relationship there, then check out my Kingdom of College book, which teaches more about meeting girls through social environments. And apparently Bast, the cat, is she's ready for the video to be over, so we have to appease her because she is the queen around here. Yeah, cool. All right, see ya.